Hi, this is Majinoni, and here's my review for we got Ultimate, Spider-Man, Annihilators, Avengers, and Avengers. Okay, let's take a look at Ultimates number 2 first. I really enjoyed this book. I think the art it's strong, and it went places I never expected this thing to go. Uh, Basically, the people in the dome, if you remember the last issue, they went out and they attacked Thor, Captain Britain. The Ultimates are pretty much scattered, and Nick Fury is trying to get Iron Man into the mix of things now. And basically, what happens is these guys they start analyzing the data of the Captain Britain and his crew, and eventually they get hold of Thor. They realize he's different, and then they decide to go up to Asgard to take care of Asgard. I was really surprised at the outcome of that battle. I never expected anything remotely possible to have happened so quickly. And overall, I really enjoyed it. I'm really looking forward to the next issue. Now, with Ultimate Spider-Man number 2, even though I know people are down on Morales and they want Peter back, I can really appreciate the storytelling that what they're doing here, because if you think back with old Spider-Man, it was basically one issue. He gets bit. He learns I have Spider-like abilities, and then he's already in a costume type thing. In this one, what they're doing is they're actually taking it really slow. He's uncovering his abilities slowly. He thinks he's a mutant, and he's learning as he's going. And I really can appreciate the time that they're taking to develop the characters, to develop who he is, his parents, his uncle, his friends, before they put him into the suit and then have him fight villains. So for that, I applaud Bendis with that. And there's some nice dialogue between his father and Morales, and it's like I said, this was a really enjoyable read. I'm really looking forward to see what comes up in the future. Annihilators number 1, totally enjoyed it. What we have going on here is you have the Annihilators just doing their normal thing through space. They're ransacking and destroying, beings or creatures or whatever, forces that are trying to destroy the universe, and Cosmo learns, hey, there's a threat down on Earth. And so they go down, instead of doing this reasonable thing like, hey, Quasar might want to contact the Avengers or something like that. No, time is of essence, so they go straight to the source and they start taking care of business. We find out they're shape-shifting aliens, up to some shenanigans, some pretty decent panel sequences for the battle. Like, I love Gladiator's eye beam like thing. The aliens aren't stupid. They suddenly change back into humans just in time for the Avengers to arrive. And my only complaint about this Avenger team is I understand that they handpicked this team for specific reasons. They realize, Spider-Man's going to sell the book. They understand Captain America's going to sell the book. Wolverine will sell it. Red Hulk will sell it. All these people were handpicked for a reason type thing. Because in theory, none of this team should never exist, because it's a hodgepodge of all of the teams, and they never want to work together under normal circumstances. So I think that this was, like I said, I really enjoyed it. And you also got that Rocket Raccoon thing at the end, but at least this one's not like a lot of pages. It's a little bit shorter, and you also get Mojo at the end. So if you're an X-Men Mojo fan, there you go. Alright, actually I'm going to save this one for last. Secret Avengers. I like what Warren Ellis is doing, where he's giving us these one-shots that, it's basically Steve Rogers handpicks a team, and they go in, and then they take care of business type thing. The team's different. So far, the past 2 issues, the team's been slightly different. Last time you had the Beast and Moon Knight, and now they're replaced with War Machine and Valkyrie with Steve and Sharon. Now, oh yeah, the art also changed compared to the last issue also. Now, okay, I was like, when I was reading this, I was like going, okay, this isn't too bad. It's not too bad. It's, getting somewhere, and then all of a sudden, it's Truck from Hell, and all I can think of is Maximum Overdrive from the Stephen King movie, and then I just really lost interest in it. So, so for right now, I don't appreciate this book, and I'm sure there's probably a few people out there who are going, "Are you crazy? This is probably the greatest thing of all time." But like I said, for right now, this to me reminds me of too much of Maximum Overdrive, especially even this cover. And I'll read it again later, but for right now, it's not thrilling me. And what I mean by later, I mean like months later, as maybe I'm moving comics around or cleaning up a little bit, and I happen to see it, I'll read it, type thing. Now, New Avengers 16.1. I really enjoyed this issue. What's going on here is you have the New Avengers, and they're transporting Norman Osborn to his new location. And basically, he's going to go on an international trial type thing. I love this two-page picture here. The picture of Goblin was awesome. I like the glider. This was great. I like how... I mean, the art's okay. I think the art has some good moments. It's got some bad moments. But as a whole, it is what it is, and it's average. Now, they basically set it up. Here's Norman, transport him out, and of course, forces like possibly the Goblin cult. Maybe it's a mixture of ex-Hammer agents. They come in, they kidnap or rescue him, but it turns out it was just Doctor Strange, and the real Norman Osborn's underground. But unfortunately for the Avengers, Norman was 2 steps ahead of them, and Norman escapes. Now, I'm not going to ruin the last page, but the last page kind of is scary considering the power Norman has. And that's what I wanted to talk about, is what they've done with Norman Osborn. If you really think about Norman, let's go back here. Norman was originally, I don't want to say a 2-bit villain, but imagine way back when he first appeared in The Amazing Spider-Man. Here's this guy. He's in a goofy goblin costume, and he throws pumpkin bombs, and he's got a glider. Then one day, he kills Gwen Stacy, and then suddenly he's elevated to public enemy number 1 for Spider-Man. Everybody, I don't want to say everybody, but a lot of Spider-Man fans hated Green Goblin for killing Gwen. I'm sure there's a few of them who probably said, "Thank God I hated Gwen," but you get the gist. They elevated him there. Then suddenly, I don't want to say suddenly, but over time, countless battles, he stayed at that status quo level where he's, probably considered Spider-Man's number 1 villain. But then he becomes director of Hammer, and suddenly Norman Osborn is now more powerful than what Spider-Man can take down by himself, and he now needs a team. So I guess what I'm trying to say is I really liked how they built up Green Goblin over time to become like basically a Doctor Doomish type character. Now, is he as powerful as Doctor Doom, or Magneto? Yes and no. It's not that since he has the raw power, it's what he has, what he can control, and what they show that which basically he's controlling, makes him an extremely dangerous foe. That it's probably, it's going to take, like, they basically are saying, this is the story for the next year. So I'm really looking forward to seeing what they're going to do with this. And I'm sure if you've seen some of the previews, and then you've seen the covers, you kind of already, that's your hint as to where this thing is going to go. And I'm really, really looking forward to seeing what they're going to do. My only thing I'm wondering is what's going to happen to Norman after all of this. Is he going to go back to being a regular Spider-Man villain, or is he going to remain basically on the top? So that's what I'm kind of curious about. Anyways, that's my review for these books. Let me know what you think about Norman. Do you think he'll go back to Spider-Man, like a regular Spider-Man villain, or are they going to keep him as a team villain type thing? And I'm also curious to know what you guys think of Ultimate Spider-Man, because I know this is a very polarizing topic with people. So let me know, and I'll try to read some more books for tomorrow and post some reviews. So until